Welcome to our explainer. Today, we are digging into a really fascinating, kind of counterintuitive idea from spiritual traditions. Why is it that a higher consciousness seems to value simple, pure alignment way more than brilliant, complex intelligence? Let's get into it. So here's the puzzle at the heart of it all. Think about it. In so many ancient stories, have you ever noticed that it's the animals or nature itself that seem to be the first to sense a divine presence? Meanwhile, all the smartest humans in the story are off to the side, debating, doubting, completely missing it. Well, it turns out this isn't just a coincidence. It's pointing to something really profound about how consciousness works. So, to really get our heads around this, let's start with a classic scene from the Bhagavad Gita tradition. I want you to picture this. You're in a quiet forest, and suddenly a flute begins to play. Now, the key thing here is how instantly everything responds. The cows, the birds, the river, they don't stop to analyze the music. They're not thinking, is this a good melody? What does it mean? There's no ego, no filter. They just receive the call and immediately align with it. Their awareness is completely open. Okay, so there's this really famous verse from the Bhagavad Gita that gives us a powerful lens to see what's going on here. It suggests that there are two totally different ways of experiencing reality. One where you're awake to a higher truth, and another where you're completely asleep to it. Right, so being awake in this sense has nothing to do with being intellectually brilliant. It's all about having this uncluttered, receptive awareness. In the story, the animals are awake. But we humans, we're often asleep because our consciousness is just so crowded. Our intelligence is constantly filtering everything through our ego, our identity, and our nonstop analysis. And you know what? This isn't just a one-off idea. We see this principle pop up again and again in different stories, illustrated through all sorts of different forms. A mountain, a bird, even a monkey. Take the story of Govardhan Hill. You have the god Indra, who's super intelligent, but also super prideful, and he unleashes this terrifying, destructive storm. And what saves everyone? A mountain. Something silent, steady, and totally without ego becomes the ultimate shelter. Its stillness shows a deeper alignment with life than Indra's powerful but totally ego-driven intellect. Then you've got this incredible story about Jatayu, the vulture. He sees this terrible injustice happening, and he acts, even though he knows he has no chance of winning the fight. His decision isn't strategic. It's not based on a calculation of the outcome. It's just this pure, spontaneous alignment with what is right, with Dharma. And because of that one act, he achieves spiritual liberation. The outcome was irrelevant. His orientation was everything. And of course, there's Hanuman. He's unbelievably powerful and incredibly intelligent. But here's the absolute key. His intelligence isn't there to serve himself. It's completely dedicated to service, to devotion. Because his mind is free from the constant demands of his own ego, his instincts become razor sharp, and his power becomes, well, immense. And get this whole idea is even baked right into the progression of Vishnu's avatars. The earliest forms are animals, and each one represents a pure state of alignment. You've got the fish, Matsya, who just responds to a cosmic need. The turtle, Kurma, who offers stability without trying to be the hero. And the boar, Varaha, who acts with this pure instinct that's perfectly aligned with the cosmic order. They all embodied this direct alignment, totally free from the hesitation and the noise of the. So when you step back and look at all these stories, a really clear pattern emerges, right? From Jatayu's selfless sacrifice to a tiny squirrel in the Ramayana, just humbly adding its little grains of sand without comparing itself to anyone else, to the whole monkey army working as one. Their success always comes from their orientation. It's not about what they are or what they can do. It's about how they are pointed. Okay, so this brings us right back to the other side of the paradox. If simplicity and alignment are so incredibly powerful, why does our own brilliant human intelligence so often get in the way and become an obstacle? Well, you can see the contrast pretty clearly here. On one side, you have the qualities of these aligned beings, receptive awareness, minimal ego. And on the other side, well, that's us. That's the trap of the human intellect. It's always trying to assert its superiority, which just makes us rigid. It's constantly defending our identity, which closes us off from reality. It's a master at justifying our desires, and it's obsessed with trying to control outcomes, which, as you know, is a recipe for anxiety. Our intelligence becomes a tool for building up the self, instead of a window for seeing a bigger reality. Look, the point isn't that animals are smarter than us. Of course not. It's that they lack the complex, noisy ego that we're trapped in. So yeah, their awareness might be more limited, but because it's less cluttered with all that self-obsession and fear, it can be, in these really crucial moments, much cleaner in its orientation. It's kind of like having a compass that isn't being constantly thrown off by a giant magnet you're carrying in your pocket. Okay, so let's pull all these threads together now and spell out the central principle that we've been building up to this whole time. And here it is. This is the big takeaway. Access to higher perception, to a deeper reality, isn't some prize you win with your brain power. It's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's a state you enter through alignment. It happens when you become receptive, still, and oriented towards something much, much bigger than your own ego. In Indian philosophy, there's a name for this state of being. It's called sattva. It's that quality of consciousness defined by clarity, balance, and a natural receptivity. It's that inner quiet, that state that we try to cultivate in practices like meditation. It's the state that actually allows the music of the flute to be heard. And this all leads to a really powerful consequence, which is captured in this beautiful metaphor. When our intelligence is too noisy, when it's too busy asserting itself, defending itself, analyzing everything to death, it literally gets left out in the cold. It stands outside in the rain, unable to enter that quiet space where deeper reality is actually perceived. So, in the end, it's not the form that matters, whether you're a human, an animal, a mountain, whatever. It's the orientation that's decisive. A simpler being with a clean, clear alignment might just see a whole lot further than a brilliant mind that's hopelessly trapped inside itself. And so we'll end by turning this whole lesson inward. Because according to these traditions, that divine call, the music of the flute, it's always there. It's always playing. The only question is, can we quiet the constant noise of our own minds long enough to actually hear it? That's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me.